Hi there, I'm Zach Mazure with Camrose County. I'm the Manager of Public Works, and I'm here to just chat with you a little bit about some of the things you can expect and come to know about Public Works in the county. If you're wondering what Public Works is, it's basically the county infrastructure. So we're talking about the road network, water and sewer infrastructure, as well as all the equipment and facilities that go along with supporting the operations and maintenance of that infrastructure. The first thing I wanted to chat about specifically was the county roads. Within the county, we do have 2,557 kilometers of graveled roads. We do have 42 kilometers of hard surface roads, which can include oiled, paved, or cold mix roads. In addition to that, we do have 90 kilometers of ag access roads, which they can variable in condition throughout the county, just given their underlying conditions. Looking after those roads is it's the biggest challenge we have in Public Works. Actually, we're always constantly fighting with conditions. That can be weather, it could be subsurface conditions, you name it. Anybody who's familiar with earthworks and construction can relate that dirt can vary, and we see that firsthand in the county. Our county roads, to maintain and operate those roads, we have a fleet of 12 motor graders at our disposal. We also have the 4 plow trucks that we utilize through the winter months and helping with plowing of snow and sanding throughout hamlets and the hard surface roads. You'll also find that in the summer we see our graders out and about gravel roads. We're trying to get over the roads in the summer every 5 to 7 days. In the winter, we're hoping to see units clearing your roads every 3 to 5 days. And that's optimal. Obviously, snow accumulation and different things can affect that. But on our gravel roads in the spring, you're likely to encounter such things as grass lumps within the roadway. You're also going to see along the edges where the guys, our operators, have been likely cutting the edges. Stuff like that is typical spring maintenance practices, trying to rebuild that crown, get our drainage back in shape. You're also likely to come across things such as frost boils. What these might look like to you out there is basically topsoil bubbling up through the road. While it's nothing to be concerned about, and it does happen periodically, of course, feel free to contact us about any of those so that we can properly address them. Again, the spring conditions, rutting, stuff like that, don't be concerned, but if you are at all or you feel there are safety issues, by all means call us at the office. Please note that in addition to the regular maintenance activities that we've got going on in the county, we do look to try and upgrade at least 32 kilometers of that road network per year. That's speaking specifically to the gravel roads, of course, but that can be comprised of either shoulder pull or road construction, or both in any given year. So if you see crews out performing that type of work, don't be alarmed. If there's something that is worrying you, of course, as I said before, call us, but that's just us trying to keep our road network up and sustainable. As far as winter maintenance practices go, the county graders are trying to get around your area in 3 to 5 days, clear those snowfalls. You can encounter winds and different things and continued accumulation, which can impact those operations, obviously, but that's our target, is the 3 to 5 days. One thing you will see as far as winter maintenance is that you'll find that in many cases, the operator may leave a windrow of snow across your driveway. As much as the guys try and avoid it and prevent that from occurring, ultimately it is going to happen. We just ask that you clear that to your own satisfaction as best you can, considering the fact that if our operators were to stop and rectify each one of those and clear that away, that's undoubtedly going to cause significant delays, and those people down the road, they might not get their roads cleared for an additional 1 to 2 days. So obviously we're trying to conduct those operations in an efficient and economic manner as possible. So on the topic of driveways, I would also just like to note that we do have the ability to clear driveways for a $40 fee. Our graders can come in and out of your driveway and clear that snow accumulation for that fee as noted. And in terms of availability, you can always check the county webpage and check and see if the graders are out or heading out to be able to use that service. I'd like to encourage anybody who's interested in using the county graders for clearing their driveway to use the online system, just due to the fact that during weekends and evenings, our office is closed, so we cannot take those requests. But if you use the online portal and it's showing that graders are available, then you'll find that your request goes straight out to the grader operator, and you can ensure that you're not going to be missed when they're making their rounds. Moving on from roads, but not straying too far, we're going to talk a little bit about drainage as well. This is one of the things that I think I experienced the greatest misconceptions about when dealing with landowners in the county is their understanding of drainage and ditches as it relates to the county road allowances. Drainage in the county is rather simple, actually, and when it comes to our road allowance. Basically, the question we have to ask ourselves is, where would the water go if there was no road there, if there was no ditches, if there was no development whatsoever, no disturbance in the natural lands? What would the water be doing? That's what we try and implement, and that's our mandate when it comes to drainage issues within the road allowances. When I say misconception, what I mean to say is that many people believe those ditches are meant to carry water from their land or their development or their proposed development, in an effort to keep those lands dry. While that may be true in urban centers, it is unfortunately not the case in the rural county regions. As far as drainage issues go, please note that it's not unheard of that we're going to see drainage issues throughout the county. We'll undoubtedly have flows every year. Spring runoff and relatively flat topography in the area results in some roads and some culverts being inundated with water. By all means, if you encounter anything like this, definitely call the county office, let us know. We're going to try and get out and rectify that as soon as we can. But obviously we need to know about it before we can do anything. It's important to get this information to us because obviously it can impact roads and the infrastructure that all taxpayers are paying for. But at the same time, it can also affect private property, and that could be your own property or your neighbors. So it's good to let us know. In addition to drainage issues, obviously there's, you'll see many signs and different things out in the county that is basically, it's additional county infrastructure. So we're looking to make sure those are in good working order. So if you're finding that there's any down signs or damaged culverts or even road issues, stuff where you're seeing that there's major rutting or some washouts along the side of a road, of course, give us a call. We're going to come out, get those fixed up, or advise otherwise if there's something further that needs to be done. While it maybe goes without saying, it is also a prohibited practice to inhibit or expedite drainage to, from, across, or through any county lands, and that includes county road right-of-ways. I would just like to note that any of this work that you think you might be able to do in our ditches or otherwise is something that we're not going to encourage, and ultimately, if we do encounter it, we are going to have to contact Alberta Environment and Parks, as that's something we don't want to condone. Additionally, in terms of private drainage, just another thing I want to note is any drainage that we come across situations where people contact us and they've got issues with a neighbor potentially is draining water from one private land to another. While we can sympathize and understand, this unfortunately is a situation we, as the county, are unable to address. If you do have private drainage issues occurring from a private property to a private property, you can definitely contact us, but we are going to redirect you to the Alberta Environment and Parks hotline, where you can report matters such as this, and they're better equipped to be able to address them. So another thing that you're going to come across as a county resident or potential county resident that you might be likely interested in is the dust abatement, otherwise known as dust control. So obviously living on county roads, gravel roads, we do experience issues with dust. This is an uncommon occurrence. During those dry periods of summer, there's obviously lots of dust floating around, and with traffic traveling by locations and properties in the summer, this is something that we find happens a lot. While dust abatement is available to residents, it's not available through the county. We do have on our webpage different vendors and contractors available that you can contact to provide this service. I just want to reiterate, while we're not actually providing the product ourselves, we do have a policy in place to allow you to go ahead and get those contractors in place to get that down and keep that dust at bay, so make things a little more pleasant for yourselves on your properties. Just continuing on with the dust abatement as well, some recommendations I'd have for you would be if you are going to contact a private contractor to supply that for you, it's also recommended that you put up some lath or survey markers or something to identify that for our grader operators. And also, of course, call the county office and just let us know too that you've put it down. All of this helps in trying to ensure that our graders don't inadvertently blade through that dust abatement during periods of rain or at times when they might not be able to see it the best. So that's just to help protect your investment in that product and obviously keep the dust down still. Next on the list of topics I have for you is brushing requests and trees in the county right-of-ways. Another common thing that we get is requests for brushing or vice versa, requests for trees to be left in place. I'd just like to note that this is something that we have a program in place. We are performing brushing on an ongoing basis. We have a project list that we reprioritize as projects come in and projects get completed. I just want to note that in terms of prioritizing those jobs, we do look at in the order of importance. Number one is safety. Number two is allow for access for agricultural equipment. Number three is the winter road maintenance, so just ensuring that we have proper snow storage capabilities and not running into drifting due to vegetation. And also summer road maintenance, and that's just making sure that we're not ending up with too dense trees around the road so that roads can properly dry out and better maintained. In addition to actually brushing, we also get different types of inquiries with regards to trees and vegetation. One of those requests is, many people are out looking for firewood. By all means, this is something that we don't have issue with, but we do ask that if you are going to look for firewood, you collect only deadfall, in which case you want to contact us beforehand. Come sign a save harmless with us, and definitely we'll give you permission to go out and do that type of work, providing you're not following healthy, good vegetation that your neighbors or the adjacent landowner might be preferable to having there if it's not causing any issues otherwise. Another sort of brushing related request we might get is people looking to dig up trees for transplanting. Again, this is a practice that we don't have issue with, but we do ask that in that case, you're getting permission from the adjacent landowner, so whoever has property adjacent to that roadway, before coming to see us. If you have that permission and we can confirm that that is the case, then again, we'll have you sign a save harmless, and you can go ahead and proceed with doing that. Speaking of other things that we have in the road allowances that we get a fair number of questions on is mailboxes, rural mailboxes in the county. These obviously the county has permitted mailboxes to be installed within the right-of-ways. I know Canada Post has their own recommendations with regards to mailbox. I guess the one thing I would just like to note is that in no circumstance or situation, will we reimburse for damaged or irreparable mailboxes? This is ultimately something that you take on the liability yourself, as putting that mailbox in the right-of-way. You'll see that there are some recommended guidelines for installations there. It's best to follow these practices so that you can ensure both your mailbox stays safe and that those traveling the roadway also can stay safe. I'd also like to make a quick note about approaches. Approaches are your access points onto the public roads within the right-of-way. Getting from your property, your field, your house, whatever it is, obviously you're going to be using an approach to get onto the county roads. While the county will look after this infrastructure to a certain extent, and the fact that we will maintain and replace culverts, if they need to be steamed, we're going to come out and do that sort of work. If you're having issues with things like that, let us know. In terms of the surface maintenance of these approaches, we would just ask that residents keep them up to a standard that they would expect and their satisfaction. If it's a field approach, obviously it's going to require less maintenance and upkeep than, say, an approach into your residence. So with respect to that, whatever attention and care you're going to give your adjacent driveway, we just ask that you keep your approach up to the same condition for your own peace of mind, and keep it in good shape. And while existing approaches are fine and that's all good, any upgrades or changes to those approaches, we do ask that you contact the county office and just fill out one of our approach change request forms. This also goes for new approach requests. We do try and limit the number of approaches that we have along our county roads. So we do ask that in any case where you're installing a new approach or would like to install a new approach, definitely come fill out one of those applications. We can send it to you by email or whatever you like. And we'll go out and inspect and give you some conditions. Just make sure that we're installing that approach to the standards we need and require. Another topic we oftentimes get called about is streetlights throughout the county. We do have streetlights within several of the hamlets and subdivisions in the county. If you do encounter streetlights that are in need of repair or just out, I'd just like to reference you to the Fortis Alberta online streetlight map tool. Here you can identify any streetlight that might be out or an issue, and Fortis will come out and fix that up. They are responsible for the operation and maintenance of streetlights within Camrose County. If you're looking for a new streetlight or would like to request streetlights in an area, by all means, that's something that we're open to. But we do ask that you provide a formal request in writing to us so that we can go through the proper channels to get that request dealt with. The last topic I was just going to bring up with regards to public works in the county is our municipal water and wastewater servicing. Within several of the hamlets in the county, we do provide municipal water and sewer, otherwise known as servicing. So any residents that are currently connected to this obviously would be familiar with it, but if you're looking to develop or propose development, by all means contact us. We can give you more information on this. We do have some rural water servicing available for potable water, but again, for potential of getting this service, definitely give us a call and we'll provide any information we're able to on your potential development site. With regards to our water and sewer systems, I'd just like to note that we do have our certified operators looking after those systems. They're fully certified by the province of Alberta, and you can feel very confident and safe in using both the water and sewer that we're able to provide at the county. And if there were any issues encountered with any of those, either water or sewer services, definitely you can call us. And if the office is closed, we're always on call with the emergency utility services number there. So by all means, give us a call. And while I hope this might have provided some something of value or interest to you, by all means, we're always available at the county office to take any questions or calls or address any inquiries you have. So obviously, definitely feel free to call the number on the screen or the email that we've noted there as well at Public Works.